Hello and welcome back. Today I'm just giving a quick overview of the two weather apps I like to use. It's really basic, guys. There's literally nothing to learn here if you're an experienced boater or whatever, but people are asking me about the apps and how to understand it, so I'm doing a video on it and it can sit out there for however long and help people out as long as they want to use it. So yeah, really basic overview. Two apps I use really for my weather down here, Weather and Windfinder Pro. There are other ones available like Magic Seaweed and Windy and stuff like that. This is just the two I use and I'm going to do a quick overview of them. So this is Windfinder Pro. This is what it looks like. Obviously, I'm screen recording here, so this is what it looks like. I'm on an iPad. If you're on a phone, it will look slightly different. So we have our locations here. You can add some more, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But down in the bottom right there, we've got more, and that's where we're going to change our settings. We're going to flick over to that in a second, and we're going to have a look at a few bits that you can change in there. So click on that. You've got your settings in there. Hit settings, and then we can go into that and we can change all the units. So there's temperature, so degrees, Fahrenheit, wind speed you have in knots. So I always work in knots on the boat when it comes to wind, or speed over ground, i.e. how fast the boat's going. Not mile an hour, it's knots. And then you can choose your wave, your elevation, all that lot. Get in there first off, set your settings, and then once you've done that, you'll be good to go. And we can have a look at the rest of the app itself. Really easy or simple to use. But get in here, change all your settings, and then we can flick over and choose our locations. So we're back to the main screen now. At the bottom centre there, you've got map and search. This is how we're going to find some different locations to add to our favourites. This is what the screen looks like. So it's got a number of predetermined locations all across the south coast, and in fact all over the country, that you can click on and choose. So once you click on one, it will pull up the relevant information. So find your location, and then we're going to hit the little red star at the top when we find the ones we want, and that will then save it to favourites. You'll notice the little arrows go across the sea there. That's showing the current wind direction, so you can get a rough idea of which way the wind's going just by quickly looking. So we've got Torquay here, we'll add that to favourites, and then in a minute we'll scroll down to Falmouth and we'll add that as well. But you've got the information there, it shows you there, look, currently we've got a southerly 10 knots with a maximum of 12, and it shows you the direction the wind's going as well. Let's click on Falmouth. Let's click on the point closest open to the open sea. So we'll click on that end bit there. That's Pendennis Point. Currently got a southeasterly 11 knots, gusting a max of 14. And it obviously gives you the degrees location there as well. And then we go back to my location. I'm down at Eastbourne down here. So I'm going to pick this one just off the marina mouth there. And that's just off there. I know exactly where that is because I've steamed past it. So we're going to click on that, add that to favourites. And then that will then go back to our home screen. When we check on the home screen, they have now been added to our favourites list. So we're now inside the Sovereign Harbour information tab. This is what it looks like. We're currently on forecast there, top left. Super forecast gives you slightly more detailed information, and we'll come on that in a minute. And any webcams in your area will be under the webcam section. So most wind apps use the same sort of format. They use like a light blue to indicate light, gentle winds. And as the winds get stronger, they transition into yellows and greens and reds, and the darker reds they get to almost like a maroon colour, which you'll see in a minute on tomorrow's weather because it's horrendous. So the colour scheme immediately sort of gives you an eye-catching indication. On the left-hand side, we've got the day and the date, so Wednesday 22nd of October here currently, and just above that in small print, we have the last updated, so that's when this app was last updated, and it also then says next, which is for when the next update is coming. Every 3-hour intervals on the forecast, and then you've got a little arrow showing where the wind's coming from. That's done on a north, south, east, west compass point sort of thing, and the way the arrow is pointing is from where the wind is coming from. So in this case here for Wednesday, in the morning, let's look at 10 o'clock or 7 o'clock, sorry, we've got a westerly wind. Then you've got a number, or a pair of numbers, 6 and 8 in this case, 6 with a max 8 knots. That is a steady wind of 6 knots, gusting 8. Now, not much variation there, but Thursday will show you a bigger range in a minute. Then you've got the weather, cloudy, sunny, snowing, whatever it's going to be. Next, we've got the air temperature. Underneath that is a barometric pressure reading. If you're into your pressures and the fishing and how it's affected, that's where that information is found. Then we've got the wave height and how frequently those waves are coming. Really key because obviously You need to know how big those waves are going to be and how often they're going to smash into your boat. That's there. And then we've got the tide times and heights on the right-hand side as well. Right, let's have a quick look at Thursday's weather because it gives you a bit more variation. It shows you what I'm talking about with the gusts. So looking into that second column again with the arrows, and it shows you the wind speeds. Obviously a much windier day Thursday. We've got, let's take 10 o'clock here. So again, we've got a arrow coming from the west, pointing obviously from the west. So we've got a westerly wind with 33 knots steady. So that's a constant 33 knot wind, but this time we have 49. So a 49 knots gusting wind, which is pretty horrendous. So yeah, just to show you that there, it does make a difference. It is really good indicator there because obviously it's quite an extreme value, that one. 33 to 49, that's a big jump up in winds, and you can almost imagine that's going to knock you off your feet in places. So not a good day to be at sea. But yeah, just to give you a highlight there, worth taking those into account as well, because strong gusting winds, even if you've got a lower steady number, let's say a 8 or a 10, if you've got a gusting 17, 18, that will whip the sea up really quickly. So do pay attention to the gusting winds. Up in the top right there, you've got any weather warnings. We've got one here for tomorrow. You click on that and it'll give you all the information for that yellow weather warning or amber, red, whatever it's going to be. All the information is in there. You also have the sort of Google Earth view there of where your chosen location is. And you've got the spot info, so it tells you the sunrise, sunset, how high you are above in elevation, your local time where you are at the time of this recording, and the longitude and latitude. Need to change the settings in that one, but yeah, you can change the lat and long settings, but that tells you the location of the weather buoy up there in that top right. So the super forecast bit there just gives you the exact same information, but it gives you hour by hour. All the information is the same. Webcams, if there's any local webcams available to you, these will be in here. If not, you can submit one. So if you've got a webcam that you like looking at home, you can add that in there and they will put it up for you. So it's all in one easy location. That's Windfinder Pro. Pretty easy. It's a really good app. I find it to be really accurate. Never have any problems with it. You know, any app can be slightly wrong, but Windfinder Pro, pretty accurate, pretty good. I like it. Very user-friendly, nice and simple. Yeah, not a bad one to have. Let's take a look now at XC Weather. XC Weather, pretty much the same, uses a similar sort of colour schemes, you know, blues, light winds, reds, horrible winds, you know, blue good, red bad, all that sort of stuff. It does have a bit more information on its main screen. To find a different location, just click in the location, type where you want to go. Again, I'm going to do Falmouth because I go down that way, and it pulls up the information straight away for you. And then again, you can change your settings in there. Really easy stuff. Bit more easy on the eye, this one, I think, but you can put as many locations in there as it'll let you. I think it might be 10, I'm not sure. And again, all you do there is just click on the location and it'll put up all the information for you. So let's click on one now. Let's click on New Haven. Again, like I said, on the iPad. You've got the hours on the left-hand side, so the time. Again, wind direction using the arrows. So northeast, southwest, all you got to do is look at it. A lot more easier on the eyes, XC Weather, I think, and a lot more user-friendly. Start from the left. I've got this set to every hour currently. On the right-hand side at the top there, you've got a 3-hour or 1-hour tab. We'll keep it set to 1 hour. But if you want to do every 3 hours, you can change that over. So time of day, the wind direction, again, northeast, southwest, arrow directions. So a bit more of a southwesterly wind going into a westerly tomorrow as the day or morning progresses. Now, I do like it here. It makes it very obvious. Wind 39, gusting to 49 mile an hour, and it peaks up there at 56 mile an hour, as you can see there. So really strong weathers tomorrow. So you've got the temperature there, and then you've got the rain, how much you're going to get, and the conditions, cloudy, the usual score. But this one does have a feels like temperature, really good for winter when you get those cold days where the air temp is X amount, but you get the wind chill. So it's really good there. It does give you a bit more of an indication as to how cold it's actually going to be when you step out the door. Your cloud cover, how cloudy it's going to be. Your UV index, which Windfinder doesn't give you. And then your barometric pressure again there. Real low pressure coming in tomorrow at time of recording. Again, you can change all your settings, miles per hour, knots, wind speed, temperatures, all that sort of stuff. Both apps are really user friendly. I do prefer XC Weather on the eyes. Windfinder I do find to be a bit more accurate my way. But it's each to their own, horses for courses, all that good stuff. That's a quick look at both apps. If you've got any thing to add on both of those, do let me know. And there they are. That's what they look like in the App Store. Any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all again in the next one.